You're listening to Sunglasses, a podcast where we get to see life through God's lenses as His children. I'm your host, Samuel, and together we'll uncover how God's presence shines through life's tiniest details. So, let's take off the shades, put on our sunglasses, and see what our Father is revealing in today's episode.
Hey Sunglasses family, welcome to another episode where we slow down, tune in, and choose to see life through heaven's lenses. Today's episode is extra special because for the first time, I'm not sitting down with just one guest, but two. And not just any two, but two pillars I served beside during one of the most stretching, refining, and unforgettable seasons of our lives. We met on campus and somehow God chose the three of us, one guy, myself, and two amazing ladies to form the RCF trio of the 2023-2024 tenure. They called me the president, but without these two pillars, our responsibility would have been a weight that I could never have carried alone. By the way, if you are just tuning in for the first time or you have been listening but haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that follow button right now. Thank you. Now, as a way of introducing them, let me tell you how I first met these two amazing souls. I met Precious sometime in 2020, first in the Redemption Week committee meeting, and later during the COVID lockdown, when a mutual friend introduced us properly. Funny enough, I once stumbled on a picture during the lockdown of RCF's 2020 Freshers Orientation for immediate juniors, and before then, I could have sworn that I'd never seen her in my life before. But then the picture was two of us posing to take the picture, and there we were, same event, same frame, similar futures, just waiting to unfold. Little did I know I would go on to become president and she would be my vice. For Tinu, I met her during the handover process in 2021. She had just wrapped up her interview and was looking for someone to walk her through a dark, narrow corridor in college. And I volunteered. When I mentioned it to her recently, she admitted that of all the people standing there that day, I would have been the last person she would have chosen to ask. But anyways, what God cannot do does not exist, right? 2 years and one handover later, we were picked to serve together and she became the general secretary to my presidency. So after that, I met you guys. So please let my Sunglasses family meet you guys as well. Over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Tinu and I'm Samuel's friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Precious and I'm Samuel's friend.
You're happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
So you guys, thank you once again
for
being here.
You're welcome.
They said they are my friends.
They said
but they are not here in the capacity of just being friends, because we're more than just friends. So let's get straight into it. So you guys served as vice president and general secretary. You previously had served as AGS and treasurer. And so what was it like, especially the VP and GS1? What was it like for you before they called you out and when they called you out? Like, so days before, what were you feeling? And then in the dying moment, what did I say? GS.
I was just begging them to not make me president. Begging God in my heart.
So you get, days before, of course, everybody knows handover is coming. You know that you are going to serve again. You just don't know exactly where, or maybe you knew yourself, all this stuff. Me now, I'm not sure. I had an idea, but So yes, you were called out as general secretary and vice president. What were the days leading to that period like? What were your thought processes? What was running through your mind? And the final moments when they were doing the announcements, what was it like for you?
Okay, for me, formerly I was the treasurer of the house of the fellowship, and I was still trying to balance the whole book, so that pressure of that was on me. And then we had a series of interviews with the choice committee. I just really wanted to just serve again. Whatever position people put me, I did not mind. Just let me serve again until the final interview with our guys now. And then I'm hearing, so if you are the president, I said, sir, please don't do this to me. I beg you can make me anything. Don't make me the president. And he was like, why? I was like, sir, please, and just don't make me the president. Like I would not survive. I know me, I would not survive. And then I didn't think I understood what I told him to do. I was expecting everything. Like I wasn't expecting to be in the trial at all. And then fast forward to the actual handover service, and I started calling out names. I was expecting Sister Scott or maybe FISEC, yes, because it was just a level up. Treasurer becomes the FISEC and all the rest. And then they called all the posts, and I'm wondering, so am I serving or I'm not serving? I was very angry, right? Because I knew what was going on. I didn't see Sister Scott was already taken, and then I'm looking at VP in front of me. I was like, Jesus, please, is VP or president? I called, I don't want. And then he called my name as VP. I was angry, like the anger was literally on my face. I just walked to the altar frowning, and then I knelt down to just pray. And well, the rest they say is history. Now it's history.
GS, sorry about you.
Okay, so for me, prior to that time, I was the assistant general secretary. And during my interviews, and to be honest, I was expecting to be the general secretary. No, not even expecting. I felt like that was the best thing for them to give me. I would just like easily, jump to the role, because I already had an idea of what general secretary was supposed to do, right? At least so I thought. And then during the interviews, they were talking about Bible studies. And I was like, God, how many Bible studies do I want? They asked me, tell me about the wall of Jericho. Would I really be able to say it in detail? Could they say constant Bible scriptures right now? Like, would that be able to? It's not like I can't say it, but I was just like, I felt like I needed to like be really deep. Like, I should be able to say anything. I should be able to quote any scripture at any time of the day. So I was just praying to God that, God, please, I don't want to be Bible study secretary. And I remember telling Pastor Zinabo that time, like, I just told him straight, like, sir, just make me the general secretary. And then he was like, why? I said, because it's going to be easy for me. He was like, why not any other thing? I said, no, sir, I can't do any other thing. Secretary. Yeah, so when they called me, I was happy. I was like, finally, you think they don't give me any other thing, thinking that I was at AGS, I would be fine.
You wing it as usual.
Until we started. And I knew that I didn't make a mistake, but I knew that it was not as easy as I thought it was going to be.
I think you are the first person that will be happy at whatever they have gotten. And I think, small backstory, I think I told you guys that when they asked me who do I think should be president, I just mentioned Akiti, Gedika, and Pastor Yano. And they're like, why? So imagine me, I did mention person name. The person they reject out.
Actually, I mentioned your name and
you mentioned my name.
When they asked for suggestions for president.
I mentioned his name. I mentioned Ginika. I mentioned Pastor Yano. I think there were a couple of people that I mentioned. I don't mention because I don't mention to because I don't know why. Yeah. But I was already. I think I just left her as GS actually. Like, I think that was the thing. Like, AGS just moves up in my head. AGS just moves up. That's what I was expecting. Treasurer just moves up to FinSec. Like, just let everybody be happy.
And they winged you.
And then they
Nice. Anyways, I think for me, so he was asking me why not this, why not that, and so on and so forth. And I'm like, I don't think I can do it and everything. I got short, told me to say me look I know they call me. So yes, I think it just takes me to like the next question, So from that moment onward, do you see yourself as that guy, as that person, or did you feel like something that you had to literally grow into over time?
So yeah, I had to grow into it. I had to first take 10 steps back and realize that like they are not the same thing as the assistant general secretary. Similar functions, you're assistant general secretary, but it's a different ballgame where you are the one that is like in charge. You are the one that somebody else is assisting this time. Yeah. So yeah, it was a different game entirely.
Pastor VP.
Okay, for me, I grew, but I immediately assumed, and I won't call this pride, but I assumed that now I'm here, so now you are here. Like, I didn't have to sob over the fact that, they made me VP. But that was the wonderful thing about this. Now I'm VP, so let's work as the workers director. What do we have to do now? Like, I'm in this office, nothing can change it. Yeah. That was my mindset. Like, that was how it was. Like, let's do this thing. I'm VP now. Nobody's taking that position from me now. All right, so let's walk into this thing and do it. So I grew, but I didn't have to try to start getting. I had a lot of help too, but that's it.
Thank you. Give a word for myself. I would probably say that it was both ways. I served in plenty places, but being national president was new and was a full-time job. Like you guys will always say,
it's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job. Yeah. I mean, you have a lot of expectations and a lot of stuff competing for your time. Make I not talk when they come my mind. So anyways, what fears or expectations did you carry in? Especially as you were still a student. Of course, if you are not a student, you will not even have become a leader in the first place. The fact that you're still a student, you guys are ladies, and you you probably had your own priorities. I think later on we're starting talking about business and how you guys scholars, probably first class. So what were the fears or expectations that you had coming in?
Okay, so for me, one of my fears was my academics. Well, I served as the assistant general secretary, so I knew that it was going to be time consuming. But then I was very scared that I was not going to do so academically, because now this one was going to take more of my time. I needed to show up more. Like before, I would say this JSJ, I want to take permission to. Now, who am I going to ask for permission? I'm the one that is granting people permission, so I probably have to always show up. And I can't make excuses. So I was really scared I was not going to be fine. I was not going to balance things. So that was one of my fears.
I think I can very much relate to the fact that you used to take it, not you, but me. I used to take excuses. When I became president, I almost did not miss anything ever again. All the tears. Anyway, we're free now. Pastor VP.
I don't know why you keep calling me that. I'm not the pastor, I'm not the VP anymore.
But you want to see anyone here?
Okay, so I think my fear was actually about my academics, right? Because we probably moved to this part soon, but I'd already been deep in my academics. So I've been nose diving. All my results were, not all, but I began to have some very interesting
69 and 68.
No, it wasn't even 69, 68 though. It was C's. I was beginning to sit on C's. And I'm like, this has never happened to me before. So I was kind of not scared that I wasn't going to finish as a very good student. And then I did not also know how much work being a VP and workers director. I think it was there were 3 offices and alumni relations office, because I really did not know.
You waved it over my head.
Well, I really did not know how much. I mean, I was just excited that let's get this work done. We're here already. But I was not sure how much work I would need to do, how much of Pastor Precious I would need to hear, and have to call people, have to check up for people, have to be there, smile, have to drive yourself for fellowship when you don't want to, but you have to show up because you are the workers committee chairman in a way. And you're like, why? I did not sign up for this, right? So it was my academics, and I did not know how much work the office was presented.
Thank you. I think what you just said is just reminds me of how you guys were literally the pillars. You guys were in pillar safe.
Yeah, that was our WIT set name. WIT means workers in training, by the way.
Pillars was our class.
Cool. Pillar in.
Some people are nameless, just so you know. They didn't have a name.
We didn't have a name, but we made our mark. Anyway, so it just reminds me of the fact that you guys were the ones that really held everything together. The way they usually say it, and I usually said too. Everybody was a president in their own right. As you said recently, the fact that for somebody like the VP now, the workers are the real church. The members are just additions. Sorry guys, in case you are still a member, this is just join the workforce. Basically, but the workers are the ones that you can hold on to anytime and say they are the real church, and the VP is in charge of them, and the GS, every other thing, every single executive, even the president self submit.
Sir?
I show you submit.
Excuse me. I don't agree. I did not ask you to submit.
But anyways, all these dynamics is just so beautiful to see and experience. So basically, to wrap up this segment, looking back with your sunglasses on, how do you see that version of you who said yes, who did not run away, even though the option to run away was very much available? And I myself have been GS-less or VP-less. Even myself, I could not drop out. How do you see that version?
Okay, so that version of me had fears, but looking back, I would say to that version of me that God is always faithful, that God can be trusted, that there is always room to grow, that God likes to enlarge our capacity. So get ready to be stretched, get ready to do things that you never thought you'd ever do, but that in the end you'd always see God show up in everything. There'll never be a time where you'll be stranded.
Pastor VP.
I go still beautiful this thing. Okay, if I'm to talk or say something to that lady that became the VP. Yeah, I would say that the strength of God is always available. I mean, there were times where you just really need to log out, right? But somehow, somewhere, there is actual bodily strength, there is strength in the mind, and then God never leaves you stranded. God cannot, right? Once there is a project coming up, He has funded it. He only needs you to open your mind to see it. So God never leaves us stranded. God never leaves you without help. You're just surrounded by His faithfulness, basically. And then there is the bodily strength, not just strength in your spirit or your mind, the actual strength that He gives to your body.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I can relate to everything that people have said, but since I'm not the respondent, I'm the host. I read my own back. But yeah, so I mean, speaking about RCF trial once again, there's a lot of things that people don't see. There's a lot of conversations. There's a lot of back and forth. A lot of things, honestly. So I mean, we want to talk about, something from behind the scenes this time. You know, I think we should talk about some things that people don't see that the RCF trial did and we are still doing, most likely. Shout out to our successors if you people listen to it. So I think you guys share a behind the scenes story. It could be a funny one, a chaotic one from your trial days.
All right, so this one, I'm going to be apologies in advance to all the former CEC. Right, it was really painful, and this was 20th anniversary. So 20th anniversary was the job responsibility of the alumni relations officer. Right? When I was supposed to gather, we're supposed to have programs and the rest like that, and things were not coming for, like, it was just looking bleak. We didn't even know if we were going to do anything. We just wanted to scrap it, right? And then I'd spoken to the president at that time, who is obviously my friend, who has rejected me. Okay.
I didn't reject you. I just said you are more than a friend.
Okay. And so he just randomly, it was not intentional. I didn't tell him to do it. Just went to the group chat and said, also guys, we will not be having a particular, maybe having the whole what's the name now?
I thought it was cancelled.
Yes, he just said that the whole 20th anniversary event was cancelled, and they come and see the joy on the group chat, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what do you mean you guys are happy? No questions asked.
That much of planning.
We have been planning this thing all of a sudden. People are happy, right? So it was really painful for me. And the other one was fundraising. RCF taught me how to raise funds. If I've ever entered your DM for anything, it's just to raise funds. Trust me. Many people were not responding, especially we tasked the workers to reach out to people. We tasked the main house, the pillars of the house, as we used to call them, and then the
pillars of the house. The workers.
No.
Escorts. CC. Okay.
We tasked everybody, and then it was not like people were not exactly responding, and that's like the issue. Right. Yeah, the way we wanted to. So it's not like they were not doing their part, but I did not see it in the same energy that I would put it. You get, right? So I just went to the back and told Sam, so how are we going to do this? Like many times, so how are we going to do this? Let's forget that this is for doing anything. Can we move forward? So most times I've had to sideline some people or some offices or some whatever it is, to just focus on let's get this job done. Alright, so people never knew that some things will happen behind, but I'll just move them to us and just make sure let's get this thing done. When we are done, all of us now come and talk about why you not respond well. But yeah, that's it.
If we ever got to talk about it,
we never matter. For me, I think so as a general secretary, my job was to coordinate. Maybe not plan, but it's coordinate now. So I was in charge of securing venues for events, and for anniversary, I just woke up. I think I just slept and woke up, and I was like, oh yeah, venue for Thanksgiving.
It was supposed to happen on Sunday, and that was already Friday.
But before then, we knew that because I had spoken to the professor and everything. So I was like, oh yeah, so let's go and submit letter and get this thing done. And then that was past 3 p.m. and then I got to the venue. And this woman was saying that we're going to pay 150k. I want to pay 150k by 4 p.m. Meanwhile, before this, we were told that we need to get the all for free. That was the reason why we were never because we're like, oh yeah, the all is free. From it to 150k in 45 minutes. How do we get to the bank and everything? They were calling, her number was not going through. And I was like, God, you are going to blame me because I was the one that did not book the venue because I was just too confident in man.
It was already free.
It was free.
Man.
The arm of flesh failed me. So that was a very funny situation. But eventually they helped us. We paid 50k, even though we were not meant to pay at all, and we paid before 4 p.m. Glory to God.
Anyways.
People came on Sunday. They didn't know what even happened. That by Saturday you guys would have been
Venue-less, actually. Venue-less. I think since both of you kind of touched on anniversary stories, I remember also that we had cancelled dinner 1 week before.
Yes.
And then by Sunday there was a dinner.
A very beautiful dinner.
Oh my God.
There was food.
We shared food in the hostel.
We shared food in the hostel. Everyone in the hostel was doing dinner.
Side-eye 12. No, side-eye care. Next time, miss it. Anyways, I'm going to combine the next two questions. What was like your toughest period during your time in office? I would want to assume that most likely your toughest period was also a time where you felt like quitting. You were just like, God, why me? Who set me? Just say I know they do this thing. So
my toughest time was any time that I had to be at the forefront of anything.
Forefront of everything.
But like the part where everybody's like saying, oh, it's GS. Yeah, that's GS's job. She will get it done. So yeah, but for you, my toughest time, I think for me that was the period where we had to raise funds for Zonal Congress and over World Service. A lot of things were happening, and then we had to raise funds. And I don't know, I was just like, it's not like I had not seen God show up before, but this one was just like different because the amount we were looking for. It's not like we didn't have the money. We had the money. We could take it from the account and be fine. But we can't do that because we'll go bankrupt. So we had to find like external funding sources and all. So I think that was very tough. But we made it through. Like shout out to Pisam and Pastor Precious. And shout out to everybody, the CC, the ESCO house, the workers, oh my God, the workers, our members, everybody really came through and God came through too. Yeah, so fundraising I did not like that fundraising part at all. I used to wish that if people would just exclude me.
God, I beg. I can relate so well because funny enough, I don't think that I would have had like a time where I felt like quitting, but there were a lot of times where it felt like, what is going on exactly? I think maybe my own toughest times would have been the times when there were fights and I literally just wanted everybody to be on the same page.
Fight too.
I don't know if we're on the same page because
who was always starting the fight?
I don't know.
I don't understand. No, you're not the one that started the fight now, but I feel like everybody had their own share of starting the fight.
Everybody had their own moments. Yeah. Literally, people still get there.
Okay, so I actually don't remember. The only thing I remember is I cried a couple of times, and my shoulder to cry was literally Temi. She would just look at me and then ask, "Kilo Shele," and then I'll just go and knock her and start crying. I mean, I think it wasn't exactly something in particular. It was just the fact that there was probably a lot happening. It was just I had to do this, I had to do that, I had to show up, so the fact that it was just overwhelming for me was it, because I mean I think I prepped my mind already that we're in this office, but I was tired. I was tired of always showing up, right? I just needed to rest. Can this phase be over and let me face my life? Well, now it's over and I'm facing my life.
Now you're doing business.
I'm doing business.
Come and buy cake.
Come and buy cake. Keep it.
Okay. So I think the last question in this segment is just us once again reflecting back. It's like a 2-in-1 question again. What was your relationship with God like? I know that everybody always says that during service it's time to build it up, do it. All these things. Was that your whole story? And then, how did this whole service experience actually impact you? You guys had to, like you mentioned, you have to work with a lot of people, and you as well, both of you. So I'm telling you, like as if they can see one point. But then you guys basically had to work with people a lot of time. How did it stretch you and your love for people? How did you stretch your faith? The times that you had to believe God that this thing must not fail. What was it like?
So how did service affect or impact or improve my work with God? To be honest, I had to be intentional. So because there's a tendency to only pray because you have to lead prayers, or only study your Bible because you know that every now and then, I mean, you have to give somebody a word of encouragement. You have to be, worded in and out of season. So there is a way that you can fall into that trap of doing it because you need to show up and be something in front of other people. So I feel like there were times where I actually fell into that trap where I was really not interested in like fellowshipping with God, but then I'll be like, to dare not. Like, okay, so now you're going to lead prayer. You go and lead prayers without having like your own secret place.
So more like wearing guilt trips into doing it.
Exactly, but actually 2 ways. There were times that because of service, I was happy to pray. I was happy to fellowship with God. I was happy to study my Bible. I was happy to evangelize. There's not like as if no service made me always have to pretend. I feel like the number of times I had to pretend were even very few. Because most times it was real, like I had a real relationship with God. I didn't have to force it, but I didn't have to fake it to make it. so yeah, because of service, I actually grew in my work with God. I understood the love of God more. I had a better relationship with God. So for this second question, where you said how service stretched my faith and made me love people more. So as general secretary, I feel like first of all, I was not your average strict general secretary. I was calm, sweet until I say we enter the same churches on SOA field. So I was not wicked. Maybe not. I would say wicked. I was not so strict like that. But I mean, was I strict? I was not strict now. I just knew how to get people to do their things. I just had my way. But then you had to do it lovingly. You had to make people feel like they were important and they were needed, or you just did not want, like, you're not talking to them because of what they could offer or because of their roles. Funny story, one day I messaged Pemitairo to check on him and the time was like I was expecting like, oh, I need you to design Esco's flyer. I said no, I was just greeting you. So yeah, I had to love more people, or love people more, or like be intentional about my relationship with people so they don't feel like I'm just using them. I don't even care about their well-being.
And that thing is difficult too. Yeah. There are several times I would have tried to message somebody too, and then I'll be like, oh, I must be this person in like 1 month, and now all of a sudden send you a message because you want to. Then sometimes I'll just pull back and say, no, I'm not doing it again. I'll go and look for somebody else. Or I'll do myself for, sometimes you just shoot it towards the worst and what happened. They tell you, no, you're not a nice person. Okay.
Alright, so for me, my personal relationship with God, I think, well, let's put it this way. Truthfully, I had to show up in my place of prayer and, personal study more because I was actually responsible for people, right? And this is me being truthful. Like, I had to pray. Because why wouldn't you be praying? I had to study.
God, I beg.
Right. I loved it for myself, right? I didn't teach many times, right? I think I can count the number of times I taught in the house.
That reminds me, that's how this GS escaped.
So I would study for myself, and I really liked it, but not as much as I do now. Prayer was just, but one thing that also helped me do was I took intercession seriously. I'm the kind of person that, if I'm responsible for something, that thing must be heard in the place of prayer. So my workers, I baptize the people with prayer. I just picked 12 midnight to 1. I made sure that some people were being prayed for. It helps me to build intercession. It helped me to build the zeal and the spirit of intercession for people. And bonding with people is actually my thing. I actually like.
Now you hug people pass.
I like hugs. Oh God, I love it. I mean, I would not want to say anything. I just greet you. I look at you in the eye and I just hug you, and that's the end of our conversation.
I'm the running president.
I didn't need to ask you how your day. I do sometimes, right? But like, once I've heard you, I've spoken everything I want to tell you, you have told me everything you want to tell me, because it's like a language to me, right? So having to interact with people is my thing. I just really love it. And faith was built because I had to trust God a lot. I had to trust God for money. I had to trust God for school. I finished exam and pray to God, please don't let me fail. And then I pray to God that please let the money come. And then I'm on the rest and pray, Lord, please let these children be serious with their life.
everything that RCF, if we start thinking RCF was broke, we're not broke. We were not broke. We just need money a lot.
Exactly.
We needed money a lot. And just this. I mean, it's just fun. We needed to do some programs and the rest like that. You're just like, God, please show up. Father, it's either you do or you do. If you don't do, there's nothing. And then there were also some problems that were trying to come up during that time about school authority doing something. I'm not going to tell people before they become owed me. Anyway, we had to sit down and pray. Yeah, you can, right? We had to pray about it. But we thank God, many things went well. So it really built me.
Thank you very much. I think there were a lot of things that build you. I think the fact that anybody who gets to serve in RCF, you have to love people. Even if you don't like it normally, it just has to come with your DNA. Maybe when you're over, you can drop it back over. But when you're there, you just have to try and
I actually think that's something that helped was also because RCF was known as a family of love. To be honest, I feel like there was, I don't know if I'll call it a baptism of love. Like once you get into it, even from when you're a worker, you just grow in love. Like you just really understand why you should love your neighbors, why you should love your fellow believers and everything. So it gets easier as time goes on.
Yeah, and I think there were a lot of stuff that we also tried to introduce to make sure that this family was actually family in.
Yeah.
Like those after service pictures, even they meant more stress for somebody else. The family week, we just did that one this time. I'm sure it has to be much better than even the one we did. And a lot of stuff, which was really nice. And truly, I think that's one thing that we all took away. You can't serve in the house of love and not be changed, impacted, transformed, renewed, activated every by that love yourself. And so that brings us to the end of this first part of our conversation, looking back on how God took 3 unlikely people, gave them an assignment, and used it to grow a family that became more than just titles and duties. So what really happens when 3 people say yes to God before they feel fully ready? Today we sat in that question and so many others. We traced the nerves of stepping into unexpected roles, the fears we carried quietly, the hidden wrestles of obedience, and the friendships that became the glue through it all. From interview jitters to why me Lord moments, from laughter over chaos to learning how to trust each other in the middle of the stretch, it's clear that God wasn't just shaping his work in our hands, he was shaping we that were doing the work as well. Behind every late night call, every scheduled clash, every teary moment after service, something sacred was unfolding. But this was just the first layer, because in part 2 we're diving even deeper into grades, burnout, business breakdowns, and the complexity of leading as 2 ladies and 1 guy in a space where eyes are always watching and heaven, they're always pressing a number, pick up. So if part 1 showed you the foundation, then part 2 definitely lights the match. So whether you're leading now, preparing to say yes, or still figuring out if you even want to ever lead, pause, breathe, and take this in. God doesn't always call you ready, but he always ready is the called. And like we see around here, until next time, keep those sunglasses on. Ciao.
Thank you for tuning in to Sunglasses. If this episode blessed you, please share it with a friend, leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a moment and other people can discover this too. Follow the podcast on Instagram at SunglassesBar to stay connected and explore how we can keep spotting God in life's tiniest details. Until next time, keep your sunglasses on, and remember, when you see through God's lenses, everything starts to make sense. See you soon.